This is a News 3 Now special report.
Thanks for joining us for this News 3 Now coronavirus special report. I'm Josh Sprider. The country's leading expert on COVID-19 says he'll be self-quarantining for the next 2 weeks after possibly being exposed to the virus. Dr. Anthony Fauci says he has had contact with a White House staffer who tested positive for the virus. Fauci is considered low risk for the virus and tested negative on Friday, but says he will work from home for the next 14 days and wear a mask as part of the modified quarantine. 2 other members of the coronavirus task force will also be self-quarantining. White House staff are now being tested daily for the virus after multiple staffers tested positive last week. One of the Madison doctors working on a coronavirus vaccine says it won't be easy and it may take a while. Dr. Jonathan Temte is the Associate Dean of the University of Wisconsin Medical School. He's among those researching a possible vaccine for COVID-19. He says most vaccines take 10 to 15 years to develop, and he's worried about the high expectations on when a COVID vaccine could be released.
And even with a rushed 18 months could be very optimistic. At the same time, we're hopeful that in the meantime, more and more effective treatments come along.
Even with that in mind, Dr. Temte says he's optimistically hopeful. There are already several dozen possible vaccines being studied. The first trials of those vaccines will find out whether they're safe before seeing if they're effective. Meanwhile, Governor Evers says the state's new decontamination system is now ready and available for use by the state's healthcare workers and first responders. The system made by Battelle disinfects N95 respirators so they can be reused up to 20 times. Statewide, the system will be able to decontaminate up to 80,000 masks a day. A news release says Battelle services will be provided to Wisconsin healthcare organizations and professionals free of charge. Well, this weekend marks a big moment for folks in Minnesota, the start of fishing season. But with COVID-19 still a concern, this year's opener looked a little different. Plenty of fishers took the chance to get out of the house, but still had to work around some coronavirus precautions. That includes limits on how many people can be inside bait shops at the same time and keeping their distance at boat launches. People out on White Bear Lake, north of the Twin Cities, said it wasn't a problem and they were just happy to get out.
We just wait till one boat gets off the dock and then the next boat goes on. So it's been going well from what I've been viewing today.
Others said there's no better social distancing than being on a boat in the middle of the lake. Minnesota's DNR says so far about 116,000 more fishing licenses have been bought this year compared to the same time last year. Another Wisconsin neighbor is seeing more stores open this weekend. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds announced last week that malls and other retailers could open as long as they limited their stores to 50% capacity. The Coralville Mall outside of Iowa City reopened this weekend. Managers there say they understand if some people are hesitant to go back to shopping at a mall, but they're doing what they can to keep things healthy and safe.
We've increased our sanitation, and especially of the high-touch areas like the doors and restrooms. For social distancing, we've closed off every other sink in the restrooms. We've got markers on the floor to remind people of social distancing.
While malls themselves are opening up in Iowa, it's still up to the stores inside whether or not they want to reopen or add other limits on how many people are allowed inside their store at once. A Green Bay restaurant is doing what it can to give back to National Nurses Week. Even though the kitchen at Maine Oriental Market has been closed, they decided to open up this weekend to donate egg rolls and fried rice to the workers at St. Vincent Hospital in Green Bay. They say they wanted to do something good and start a pay it forward movement, especially after seeing the community support them through a hard time recently.
Our store was vandalized not too long ago, and the outpour of love and the words of encouragement and kindness from the community really showed us and restored our faith in the communities.
The owners of the restaurant say they hope their small act of kindness inspires more people to continue giving back. Thanks for joining us for this News 3 Now special report. We'll have more in our evening newscasts, and remember, we're always on over on channel3000.com.